financing your next billion gain insights into successful engagements with venture capitalists and investors. Get ahead of industry trends, hear from industry leaders, influencers, founders, policymakers, and governments.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're here again with the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. And I am your host, Yvonne Gamble, the Executive Director of Women Leading Change Now. And this is our 66th convening. And this is the parallel event that we are presenting. We have several women from around the world that we're going to be bringing to you their perspectives on climate change, how to effectively before, during, and after climate change, the different types of things that we need to do. Today, my guest is none other than the Catherine Tuitt, and she is a member of the British Empire. She's going to be coming on and talking to us. So let's welcome Catherine to the show.
Hello, Yvonne and everyone from around the world. It's great to join you all here from London, England.
That is wonderful. So tell us, you were on the show, you were with us last year at the 65th convening of the Commission on the Status of Women. So this time we see you when you come back, and now you're bringing to us more titles. And so tell us, what did you do during the time we saw you until now? And now you have this great honoring.
Well, it's been an absolutely fantastic year. Despite the COVID lockdown, I was nominated, unknown to me, for an award, and I received a letter from Her Majesty the Queen, which said that I had been awarded in the New Year's Honours List for my charity work and community work in London. And so I was absolutely shocked and amazed. I was so excited, Yvonne. And I said, wow, is this true? And I showed my family, and it said that, due to COVID, we can't go to the palace to collect the award yet. But I have been now, and I collected the award last year, and it was fantastic. I met some of the members of the royal family who presented me with the award, and I had a great day. They showed me around the palace, and we looked at all the history. It was fantastic.
That is so wonderful. I am so proud of you, and congratulations, Your Honor. Congratulations to you. So this is wonderful. So we could not have chosen a better person, and we love when, as women move along the spectrum and move into our, out into the world, that just warms my heart. It really does. I'm bubbling over. I'm right there at the palace with you right now. I can only imagine, just the elation and butterflies, in your stomach the whole time. So that was just wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You are quite welcome. And the Women Leading Change Now, we thank you and we welcome you for your service that you have given. You would not have been given this prestigious honoring to be a member, of the British Empire had you not already provided the service, and your service is greatly appreciated. What I'd like to do now is let's turn over. Catherine comes to us with quite a bit of experience, and as you know, she deals with wills and conveyances, and and that sort of thing. She's going to actually be talking this year from a financial perspective on investments in the age of climate change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the microphone over to her and let her begin to tell us, what can we do? This is a very different area for us to look at. and that is investing during this time of climate change. So, Catherine, the floor is yours.
Okay, fantastic. So, what I would encourage you all to do when you're looking at how we can globally implement the UN climate change global goals for the world, across the world, we can all individually look at how we can make financial decisions which are not impacting further on the destruction of the planet. So those investments can be ethical investments, and they will have a positive impact on the world, whilst they will also still be making you all a profit. So what do I mean by ethical investments? Well, it means that you will still receive a financial return on your investment without having to sacrifice your social, your moral, or even perhaps your religious or ethical beliefs and values. So you can invest in areas which don't have such an impact upon climate change. We all know that industries like fossil fuels, coal and gas, have a huge impact on climate change. Some of us may also wish not to invest in areas like the arms trade, the manufacture of weapons, and also things like tobacco, and also maybe even gambling. So what you can do is, for example, you can look at how these companies invest their money, what sort of products they manufacture, and then you can choose to invest more ethically and more wisely. There's even vegan investments. So if you're a vegan and you don't eat any meat and you don't want any of your financial investments going into products that will harm animals, you can invest and look for ethical investments for even those areas of financial profit. So some of my tips would be that I would encourage you to look at investments such as wind technologies, wind farms. You could invest in electric cars. You could look at things like tidal wave technology, which uses the sea to generate electricity and generate energy, which is an alternative to fossil fuels. You can invest in things like solar panels, and solar doesn't just work in areas of the world where there's lots of sunlight for many, many hours. Solar panels can work in other parts of the world where there is not so much sunlight, and they still produce enough electricity and enough power to energy to warm your heating, for example, and ensure that your light can come on in your home. These could be a company that puts solar panels on the roofs in your local town or your city. There's other things you can look at, companies that are making technology for water preservation and heat pumps. And these technologies are the new cutting-edge technologies that, as we go into the future, will not impact on our planet Earth. Because we only have one planet. We want to be financially stable and lucrative, but we know that we have to look after our home, our common home, which we all share around the world. So these are some of my tips, Yvonne. And I don't know if there's anything else what we could talk about. Maybe we can look at how the sector is growing worldwide.
Yes, and thank you. So those some excellent tips that you said, and that just really got me to thinking that that's something that we could actually even do together to send that out and create those types of, so people know the types of things that they can invest in that actually steer us more into a good environment as opposed to a bad environment. And when you
Yes,
think about that, that's very simply that women can do, because now with investing, that can be done as simply as on Cash App, and the different and Stash and Dash, and they have several other different different apps that are out there. But you can utilize app technology on your telephone and invest as little as $1 in
yes,
major corporations. And so therefore, that then actually begins the wave. We're basically, I love the way you put that, because what you're saying to the public is drop a pebble on the sea to make the change, because that pebble dropped in an ocean creates the wave. It's not what you see when you see that wave hit that shore. It didn't start there. It started from just that one little pebble that was dropped on the ocean. So definitely that's something that I would look forward to us actually being able to see. And I'd love to see more of that information, coming, from you, that lists some of those different companies locally there in London, throughout the United Kingdom, and and around the world, different company names, and we can actually put that into our report and send that on a regular basis, so that women begin to understand that the smallest to the largest investment, in our planet will really make a difference. So
yes, absolutely. We must start doing that, and we can then implement a lot of the global goals which we have for the planet with our investments. And a lot of women, as you say, they're not aware of where they can invest. So together we can give them a steer, direct them, and we've done the back work for them in terms of checking, for example, I always check the carbon footprint of these companies, and before I put them on my list, and so they can then invest directly into these companies with a click of a button on their mobile phone into the stock exchange, and then they can directly build up their portfolio of investments, and they can even invest in bonds. And this can fit into their values and ethics. The companies will be companies that can fit into their values and ethics. They could be companies even in Africa if they want to develop and invest in developing companies. For example, in water purification companies, which would also have not only an impact on the climate, but an impact on the local village and the health of clean water in that village. They could invest in community projects in their local area, in their neighborhood, community share offers, purification offers. If we look at what happened in the place called Flint, where the water supply in America was really bad, do you remember that?
yes,
Flint?
yes, I do. Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan, for example.
Yes.
Now, if people could have got together as a community with technology and invested in water purification systems and all put some money together in Michigan, there in Flint, they could have then owned the asset as a community, and then all the profit in years to come, benefits would go back to them in the community, and they would also improve their health and improve their water supply, rather than waiting for the big corporate and the the local governments to change the pipes and change the water supply. These are ways that we can also own our community assets, grow them and float them on the stock exchange, for example.
You have opened up a doorway. I don't realize if you even realize the magnitude of that access door that you just opened up, Catherine. That door
Wow.
has been opened wide. The floodgates say, own your own community. Now she has just given us a total blueprint for exactly how you can own your own community, own your health, and not only have this for a day, but have this forever and a day, where your community is going to take care of you, going to take care of the people who are currently there, the people who will come there, and it will continue. That is so easy. And now you can invest directly onto the stock exchange right on your mobile phone. She's opened up a doorway, people. This is access. This is what we need. This is what happens when you have the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. When we convene, we come up with solutions. What she has just outlined from you, and it came not from me, it came from Catherine Tuitt, and she gave us the blueprint for exactly what to do in our local communities, and this can spread worldwide. Every local community in this world should be doing exactly this, and should not be relying simply on the governance of that community or the monies that come from the governments of that community, because it may or may not be able or be available or be enough to be able to fund these things. But you have the people in the community, a dollar here, a dollar there, well-placed investment, and now the money is there and the money continues to grow. So there's a solution, and that's what we look for every time we come to this table. When we convene, we want solutions, and you have brought us a solution, and I thank you for that. Ms. Tuitt, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you.
Great. Well, when you gave me the challenge to join you and you gave me the topic, once I sat down and started to think more deeply about it, this is what I came up with. These are the ideas that I came up with. So it's really good that you gave me this topic, that you chose this area with the UN. And I'm so grateful to you for taking the lead as one of the leads in the parallel events. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, you're quite welcome. Well, that would be, is there anything more that you would like to add, or any closing remarks that you would like to give to our audience as we wrap up here?
Yes, I think that what you can also do is you can, no matter how much money or how little you have, you can use it wisely, like a ripple in the pond. A little pebble will go a long, long way. And if you can get together with some of your other friends, family, other women, aunties, a mum, grandma, whoever, other women, and you all put a little bit together into the pot, you will see it grow. Each month, if you all put a few dollars, you will invest that, and that will grow, and your returns will be huge. And also you'll be benefiting the global community as well.
And thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast. And thank you so much for joining us here on the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women 66, our Goal 13, climate change. We have been here and with our honored guest, Catherine Tuitt, honorable member of the British establishment. We honor her and we thank her for spending her time with us today and giving us information and a solution to how to invest in the age of climate change.
Thank you. My pleasure to join you all today.